I'll also start a bit with introducing open intelligence. Everyone is somewhat familiar, but also still it's always like a nice moment to be together in that way. So I'll share here how to rest naturally, open intelligence. And today we wrote that in the meetup. I will share a little bit more about the Four Mainstays, which means exactly that's what we'll get into. So we'll start here. Yeah, what is open intelligence? What is open intelligence? Yeah, when we stop thinking just for a moment, what remains? There's an alertness, clarity, and openness, the power to know, spacious open intelligence, just naturally present. And obviously, we can't stop thinking, even for a long period of time. Some might, but it's not the point. And thoughts appear again, thoughts and emotions, sensations, and it's the same open intelligence that's equally present with thoughts and without thoughts. So that natural presence of open intelligence, that's what's looking right now, is naturally present and right here. With the stopping thinking is just a moment where we more easily recognize that there is something about us that is indestructible, stable, and always present, no matter what kind of thoughts or emotions appear. And here we go into, like, by relying on short moments of open intelligence becomes increasingly obvious. So these short moments, they're very brief moments, it's just a short moment, recognizing, acknowledging, and confirming that short moment. And at the very moment data form, data meaning all the thoughts, emotions, anything we can describe, any experience, so data for the in a simple way. So at the very moment data form, rely on powerful, spacious, open intelligence. This is a short moment of open intelligence. So, well, open intelligence and data, there's no open intelligence without data. So we have any kind of described experience at all times, even if there are no data, that's also an experience. So at the very moment data form, we can rely on open intelligence just in this moment. Right now we have thoughts, we have some sensations, and we might feel things, and we can take a short moment. And through that power of relying on open intelligence, it becomes increasingly obvious, and data vanish naturally. It becomes increasingly obvious. Hello there, welcome.
Thank you.
And yeah, so taking these short moments, no matter what's occurring, because open intelligence is ultimately reliable. It's right here, always present. So, and then that just gone unnoticed by the focus on the descriptions and on what we can feel and experience and think. So this open intelligence, that natural presence of what's looking, just went unnoticed. So in these short moments, we make it more and more obvious while we experiencing everything fully. So increasingly our power and energy become grounded in open intelligence rather than in data, rather than in any kind of experience, anything we can describe. Our focus on data loosens. That doesn't mean that, we operate in the world, obviously, but the power comes from that energy of open intelligence. So rely on these short moments, repeat it many times. That's something we will hear along the way many times, and we become accustomed to this. and the short moments grow longer. In one instant of open intelligence, data streams are recognized as the natural presence of open intelligence. They're the dynamic energy of open intelligence. Open intelligence has, we will come into a metaphor, I think, here. Yeah, the crystal ball. It's one of, I really like that metaphor. It makes it clear that anything that is reflected in the crystal ball is not separate from the clarity and indestructibility of the crystal ball. That's the same with open intelligence and data. It's the dynamic energy of open intelligence. So there's nothing obscuring open intelligence or hindering the recognition, because everything is the dynamic energy of open intelligence. So clarity is our greatest natural resource, open intelligence. Right now we recognize instinctive open intelligence, instinctive clarity, another way of saying it without making it into something. Right now we rest as open intelligence, as that clarity, that indestructibility. So the crystal ball could reflect any kind of images, and that clarity, the indestructibility, something about us is always stable no matter what our mind or our data are. Okay, and then we go into Jochen, what do you want to?
Happy to. So exploring and relying on the support system to gain confidence in open intelligence. Yeah, we had that in the newsletter today as well, and wanted to share a little more about the idea also of what we call an algorithm. I don't know if that comes in any of the next slides, Kati, but basically the structure Rinpoche has implemented over many years for us to enjoy is that we have so much support available to not just be introduced to open intelligence, which in itself is amazing, but then how to make that more and more obvious. And some of you might have tried, as I did, to try that on my own or by reading books or by maybe practicing certain kinds of practices. But then, who can I ask for clarification, or who can give me trust, faith, and confidence when I have a storm of doubt and just can't think or practice my way out? And so, what we call the Four Mainstays is this support system where we have like as much support as we're willing to take on to really make this obvious. And we call it an algorithm because an algorithm is basically a procedure that or a set of ingredients that always leads to the same results. And what we found over all these many years or decades by now is that by adding all of these supports together, there really is an unerring platform to continually deepen our experience, even through the darkest of times and the brightest of times, and it's always available. So the Four Mainstays are, well, the practice that you'll hear us talk so much. We don't talk about the others as much. That's why we wanted to bring them here as well. But short moments repeated many times become automatic. We had that conversation also on the last meetup, where really after practicing short moments repeated many times for some time, we do feel like the sense of what Kati so beautifully just called this, like something about us that isn't changing, that's always stable and clear, open intelligence. Even when we're not consciously taking or deliberately taking a short moment, we still have this indwelling assurance or confidence. And that's what it means when it becomes automatic, is that there is more and more brightness and warmth and openness in our direct experience without making it into any of those as descriptions or experiences or labels to look for. But we find more and more stability, you could say, in that view, where we naturally and instinctively see everything as open intelligence. So just by coming back to short moments again and again, and the other three mainstays essentially support that practice. So if we have difficult moments in our practice, we can ask trainers who can share their experience. I don't remember how normalizing it was for me to hear my teacher's experience of becoming more confident in open intelligence, and that it's basically normal to have doubts, to have struggles, to feel like it's not working. And all of these data that occur that seem so real. And when we can open them up with somebody, they can be normalized and essentially even become portals or entry gates to profound wisdom. And we have the media, videos, and texts like the 12 empowerments that evoke open intelligence, or also like here the slides we're sharing. Many of these texts are they evoke open intelligence, the metaphors, the visuals. If you've been enjoying some of the videos on YouTube, all of these, just immersing ourselves in them. You could say short moments take themselves automatically without even trying, just by being immersed. It's like basking in the sun, and the sun warms us without us needing to do anything. And then the last one is the community of people sharing the experience of open intelligence. And I found it really heartwarming also to see here on our meetups that, as we get to know each other, as everybody gets to know each other, there is a sense of community, which also gives, again, the trust and the confidence and borrowing from other people's experience who maybe have been practicing this for many, many years or have been just going through the 12 empowerments and can share their experience with new people coming in, and also where we can feel that connection and warmth and I guess a sense of belonging that we're all really longing for, especially in a world as today where not many people, if we just like look at our casual everyday experience of the world, it's not really confirming that we're naturally perfect as we are, right? So it's powerful to have a place with other people where all we see in each other is the radiance of open intelligence, the warmth, the love of open intelligence. So these four are the four mainstays. Happy to pass on to you again, Kati.
And then, yeah, when short moments are repeated many times, the recognition of open intelligence become automatic. It becomes stable in itself. Any act of forcing open intelligence is involvement with data, including trying to get into a non-conceptual state, for example, or trying to be good, or having only good feelings or loving feelings. And these kinds of uh, that would be trying to force open intelligence into something. It's like this natural way of taking short moments, just allowing it to become stable in itself by this, yeah, by repeating short moments or by using the Four Mainstays, like using the media and reading texts. Sometimes it's just hard to take short moments because you think, am I actually taking short moments? What does that mean? Then alone that, just hearing about open intelligence and and it makes it more and more become obvious. So it takes short moments, letting all data be as they are. Then if the recognition of open intelligence slips away, we simply repeat it again. And it's like training a muscle. I like that metaphor as well. It's not really a metaphor, it's just a, but it's a way of sharing how we train up something and have the natural support with it, any kind of skill or muscle in this way. Yeah. Data are liberated in the immediacy of perception. By the power of applying the essential instruction for freeing data, short moments of open intelligence many times become continuous. Complete perceptual openness in all experience is automatic. Even though we see here a meditating person, we don't actually need to meditate. We don't need to be in a certain posture or do anything special. It is like in the daily activities. We can sit, however, if we like, obviously, but it is in any moment that we have that opportunity to take a short moment to see that data are nothing other than the energy of open intelligence. And yeah, they are freed in their own place as whatever they are. And there's a complete perceptual openness. Everything opens up, the entire, yeah, our focus on data and on the labels relaxes. That kind of way of how we deal with our data, with our thoughts and emotions shifts from being so focused on our thoughts and emotions, making a story about them, about other people, and about what it does in ourselves. So we all know these kinds of ways how that can create all kinds of suffering and difficulties in life and also in relationships. So there's complete perceptual openness in a very natural way. We feel everything completely, yet we rely on the natural resource and indestructibility and openness of every moment. Yeah, there's not no someone observing something else, because in open intelligence all appears as an appearance of the same intelligence, even though it sometimes still feels like something is seeing or witnessing or observing, and all of that appears in open intelligence as appearances, as data. Open intelligence, the seer, the seeing, the seen, all appear and disappear as an open intelligence, the changeless nature of all that comes and goes. Yeah, all these appearances. We sometimes have a thought of we are somebody or we are nobody. It could be anything, or we are observing, we are seeing, witnessing, and all of that are appearances in open intelligence data. That are the energy. So open intelligence, nothing that we actually hold on to all the time. When we look at it, we don't do that. We don't always say, oh, I'm somebody, I'm this and that, even though that can affect us in our daily life, describing ourselves as not good enough, and then that everything looks in those frameworks, and we view everything from that way of looking at ourselves. So resting as open intelligence really opens up all these belief systems, data around ourselves or anything, or how anything should be. Okay, maybe I'll pause here for a moment. Then we can have more shares and maybe questions as well. Nice to see everyone. And, okay, let's see if there were any questions or anything you'd like to, or how short moments going for you. Oh yeah, and hello. Yeah. Oh, nice to see us. No faces.
I speak, please. I know I always speak, but I just wanted. There's something that when you were reading from the text, then that um, there is no somebody, there is no someone seeing. Yeah, I don't know whether you can just bring it up again for me, Kathy. You know the last slide. There is no someone
Yeah,
seeing. Yeah, I can't actually remember the full wording,
right.
but there is no someone. So Can you just explain what that actually means?
Okay,
If you know
yes,
someone. So basically, what's that saying to me is that there's not a person that's seeing, there's only seeing. Yeah?
yeah, yeah,
The person, the apparent person. So let's take me, for example. So there's no Mark that is seeing, there's only seeing. Yeah?
yeah.
So I don't know whether you can bring it up just so I can read the next little bit. There's no one seeing the what is being seen. Yeah. So if there's a Mark, oh, that's it. Okay. So there is no someone observing something else because in open intelligence, all appears as an appearance of the same intelligence. The seer, so Mark, the apparent Mark, the seer, the seeing, and the seen all appear and disappear within open intelligence. Okay, so the way that
Mm-hmm,
I understand that, the seer,
mm-hmm,
the perception of seeing
mm-hmm,
and the seeing. So if there's a Mark here now looking at the table that is there 2 foot away, the perception of seeing is in the middle. So there's apparently three things. There's a Mark, there's the perception of seeing to the table that is over there.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's three things. But in truth, there's not three things. There's not a Mark that's seeing. There's just the table. But the table is not over there. The table is made out of seeing. Without the
So,
perception of seeing, there would
mm-hmm.
not be a table. Am I right?
Yes, but yes, let me share there on that. But it's great. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Yes, I think you're recognizing, like you just said, that there is a Mark and there's no Mark, and
It's
that
just a
all and the
thought.
seeing, and then there's a table and no table, and all of that appears as the key is everything appears as open intelligence, even no Mark. So it's not, I wouldn't agree to say, oh, there is no Mark, because yeah, there you're sitting. But then there's only open intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So it would be an extreme to say nobody's here because there's only open intelligence. So there's not, and also there's everything appearing. And so in a simple way, without actually needing to overthink that, but obviously I understand that one does want to think about it. um, there's everything are appearances data in open intelligence. You seeing a table appears as open intelligence without needing to make anything more out of it other than resting as open intelligence. Yeah,
Okay. Thank
yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
There's
you for
still a
sharing.
yeah. There's still. You know what I'm noticing?
Huh?
Well, what is happening this side of the river is is and it's very strange. It's like I could use the word struggle, but I don't think that would be correct because struggle would imply someone who was struggling, which is just a story appearing in me, the space, open intelligence. But you know what I'm noticing now? And it's like, whereas when I started the empowerments with Jochen 3 months ago, just over 3 months ago, and I spoke to Jochen about a week before, and so it's nearly 4 months. It's not a massive amount of time, but in from the start of that to what is happening now, the experience is it is like it's gone from resting maybe like once a day, and even that was like an effort. I have to rest. I should be resting. Whereas now it's pretty much now mainly resting. But when I say mainly resting, I use that word loosely because I don't really know. The experience of resting is so entwined with the data, but there's also now like an understanding that there's resting also while the data is there. I think in the Upanishads they called it Sahaja Samadhi, which basically is a state where the open intelligence is there 24/7, even in the presence of the table, of the tree, of the body, whatever is there, there's just a deep sense of bliss. Obviously, that isn't being experienced yet, but the point I'm making is that
Mhm.
throughout the day, even when I'm in my car or whatever it may be, there's like when I'm in my car now, there's moments where it's so profound that what what I am is no longer moving.
Mhm.
The scenery is moving through me. When I'm in the car and I can see my hands on the steering wheel, there's not a mark there that's moving through time and space. All this is appearing in me, and I'm not moving anywhere.
Mhm.
Like the journey, say, from Warrington, where I live, that I made this morning to Neston, that was apparently 25 miles, was moving through me. I was the space. And so I'm 54 now. So I've gone for virtually 53 and a half years of believing that I was thinking these thoughts, believing that I was moving through time and space. And it seems like now it's shifting to the objects that are appearing in my experience are moving through me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I understand. That's powerful. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. You
You're
see
welcome.
the
You're
direct
welcome.
experience there. Open intelligence is just right there. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's like
May
you.
I ask you something?
Yes, please. Uh-huh.
So I'm new in this group,
Yes.
and
Hello.
I was
Welcome.
amazed when I heard the concept of many moments each days, because this is something what I find out for myself 14 years ago. It was actually, so I'm a Buddhist, Zen Buddhist. I make meditation for 40 years, Zen Buddhist meditation.
Mhm.
But 14 years ago, I met one shamanic lady, which I asked to explain me how to beat the unconscious. And she tell me and look me into the eyes and tell me, Darko, you should be all the time aware. And I was thinking she was joking. But day after, I was all day aware. And the day after also. But then this feeling, awareness fade out. But I understand this is a gift from this lady. I understand what it means to be all the time aware.
Mhm.
And after that, I try to I activate my intent, and I succeed. So now this is for me the kind of flow. And I'm counting these short moments every day from beginning in the morning. I say, okay, this is now the first time that I'm aware. Then maybe at the breakfast comes the impulse. It is like something that wakes you up during the day. And I was wondering, what is this? What wakes me up? So this is not under my control. This is some force which wakes me. And I just have to count this. There are some kind of tricks. I use the stone, which I have always with me. And when I touch this stone, then this impulse again came. So I call this anchors, which lead me through the day. And I make a diary. Every day I count how many times I was aware. But my question, this is my experience. So I'm doing this for the last 14 years. So I could be aware from 20 to 80 times per day. And my question is actually, at the moment when I am aware, or let's say awake, my question is what to do then? So I understand this is some kind of gift. Somebody give me a gift to be aware. This is a wonderful gift from this open intelligence to which give you the opportunity. Now you have a free will to see the world with different eyes, and now you should just use this opportunity well. What is your, so this is my question, what is your advice in this short moment? What is best thing to do? To rest in this feeling, just to observe, to do some practice? What is the best for you, for your opinion?
Yeah, that's such a great question. First of all, thank you for sharing. That is a beautiful gift, as you said. It's such, it's such a beautiful gift to be awake, right? Like even if it's just for a moment, it's amazing. Like waking up from a dream and recognizing, wow, this is the reality of my life. And in there isn't really anything to do in particular, that you like should or shouldn't be doing. That's why also with the emphasis here of short moments many times throughout the day, we recognize that awareness really, like to just use the term, which is the same as open intelligence, is really always on, even in the moments when you don't recognize it, you're still aware. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to function and do the things in life, right? Like everyday kind of things. It needs awareness. You're just not aware of it. And so this awakeness or wakefulness, as you also called it, is it's not in the foreground. Um, but in that moment of recognition, our usual suggestion is to not try and hold on to it or make anything out of it, but just continue with the usual flow of your day, so to speak. So if you were just making coffee or, writing an email or creating a piece of art or, whatever you might be doing in your day, you just continue that and have that moment of wakefulness or of openness, of recognition. And what happens, I'd love to hear your experience if you've noticed something like that. But for me, especially in situations when there was, for example, some tension, say in a relationship, or I've been like worried about something, there usually is also more ease, more openness, more spaciousness. And then I can see different things of, how to respond to somebody. So, for example, if we bring it to, there, I remember when Katya and I started practicing many, many years ago, and we sat at our table in our van in India, and I was just going or ramping up on having the same conversation yet again. Like, I don't know, why did you do this and not like what I said we should be doing with the vegetables or whatever. And then in that moment, I remembered a moment of, open intelligence. And suddenly this tension and this urge to do something and needing to fix something and say something, it just dissipated. And I was like somewhat dumbfounded because I didn't have anything to do. Like there was nothing left to argue. We could still talk about the vegetables if that's really needed, but this whole sense of urgency and I need to do something, we need to change something, we need to work on our relationship, I need to work on my anger issues. All of this is just outshone in this moment of recognition. And that's it. The work is already done. Whatever comes from there, you can just go with the flow. There is no right or wrong thing necessarily that needs to be done from that moment on. So because sometimes we can then maybe try to hold on to a certain state. Like when it feels really, say, spacious and expansive, then we want to keep that feeling. But of course, it's a momentary appearance as well. It's another data stream, a nice one, but it will naturally give rise to another appearance and another appearance. But that background open intelligence remains and increasingly becomes more and more obvious. Like you said, you now have, what did you say, up to 80 moments a day, and with just maybe increasing, not necessarily the frequency, but just the casualness, you could say, almost of it. Just like having moments without even trying to have them. There is usually also then this increasing trust and assurance that it's really always there. So it's not necessarily always a deliberate short moment. Kati, do you want to add something there?
Yeah, no, I think the short moments become more instinctive without doing them. And that's where the gaining confidence comes about, that we are always open, intelligent, always aware. And it doesn't look a certain way, even though it has sometimes the qualities that you also describe, yet it has all qualities. And it's forever present, instinctive, and it's ultimately the power to respond, the power to be of benefit, the power to just be in daily life, which we are included in the benefit of all. Yeah, so that gaining confidence part is the part that is probably something you're looking for, like just looking for making it obvious at all times, day and night, without any effort.
Sometimes I make counting even at night when I am sleeping, or in the time in between sleep and wake.
Right.
So when I don't know what to do, then I start to be aware. Then I couldn't sleep anymore.
Right.
Then moment for moment came to me.
Yeah.
I'm counting even at this time. So
Right.
it is amazing. It is actually automatic. There is no question of trust or no trust. It happens. I couldn't stop this. If I want to stop, I couldn't stop.
Yeah, exactly. So then there's nothing you need to do, even, in terms of even counting your short moments. Because at one point, the flow of life it's just, it's that simple. There's nothing more to achieve, even though there's never a destination, really, because it forever deepens naturally just by being familiar. So I can see, but life changes, you see probably in your day-to-day life and with the people you are with, that you are, of benefit. And I guess you said you are teaching, so you're benefiting people and beings around you. So that naturally occurs. If what's the purpose? First of all, there's no need for short moments if there's instinctive recognition at all times. There's no longer a need for taking short moments. Or what is the purpose of you taking more short moments if you feel it's instinctive?
So it is something which has to be grounded in you.
Yeah.
Then it happens. But until this moment, you have to try to intend.
I understand.
Yes.
Yeah. Then take short moments without even counting them. That might be
so
something.
I tried not to count, but then it faded away. So that's why I then came back to counting. This is the counting is my flow. So it leaves me not to forget to be aware. So this is the main problem. All this mindfulness, mindfulness, how to say, Bewegung, mindfulness, schema. They all say when you are mindful, then you should be aware of your emotions, your thoughts, and so on. But they forget that they are not mindful because they forget to be mindful. So this is the key problem in every practice, spiritual practice. You forget to be in your practice. Only if you meditate, then you are once a day meditating. But you should be many times awake, and this is exactly what you are doing. So that's I'm glad to find you.
Yeah. So perfect. So if the counting at this point, but you'll see that even without counting, it'll become more and more obvious for you, just by repeatedly hearing that actually everything is an expression of open intelligence. There might be things that don't feel like you're awake, and those are the data to be seen. So we could collect now what you feel is not when you're not awake. What do you feel when you're not awake? For example, stress. I'm making an example of myself. So, like say we have something, it feels like, wow, I'm forgetting. But really, then we are actually opening up to these kinds of sensations and feelings that feel actually not like something that would be open intelligence or awareness, and actually seeing that feeling that is not obstructing anything. It's an expression of open intelligence awakeness. So that's how open intelligence warms up everything, that there's no way in and no way out. So even in forgetting, there's no forgetting. And this becomes obvious, right? It might be intellectually at first, but that'll become like, like trust or no trust, it's true, but then there's a confidence that is undeniable. But it has to be facing everything. The times that you feel you're not awake. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So in my experience, this impulse for being awake comes as one kind of a moment of stillness. So suddenly in life, there is a moment of stillness, and then suddenly you are awake again. So in the mid of life, of stress or something, even some emotional, hard emotional feeling, there comes the moment of stillness in you. Mm-hmm. And this stillness is actually this a moment of wakefulness. Mm-hmm. And the problem is when you start to speak or think, this is now open intelligence, this is now I am counting, then you go away from this stillness. This is actually the problem, why this feeling fade away.
Yeah, because you make it into something.
You understand?
Yes, I understand, yes.
You understand the concept of Mahamudra?
Yes.
Yes, you should be all the time in the state of Mahamudra, because when you start to think what I am doing now, what is this feeling, what is this thought, what am I, then you are not anymore in this Mahamudra. Or Zen also, it is very similar. Zen Samadhi.
Yeah.
So thank you. I don't want to
no, but
steal
thank
time
you for
from
sharing.
somebody else.
It was nice to meet you and hear, and hope. Yes, perfect. It's good to hear from you. Yes, you can. Perfect. See if there are other shares or questions. Nice to see you. Hello, Jasmine. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Mhm.
How are short moments for you? Or did you have a question or something?
No, I don't know about the 12 empowerments. I think I'll ask you about that. Um, um, yeah, I just keep letting these short moments be at all times, all moods, all um, and just letting that take more space in this, and it's been good.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. Great, great. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
Yeah, the 12 empowerments, they are basically like a 12-step like part training to support the gaining confidence with one's own life, basically, with everything that comes up in life and the belief systems and bring open intelligence and basically all the ideas we have of how open intelligence should be or how short moments should be. Also, that we need to see, right, when we see everything being open intelligence, and like you in the practice, what you're doing, that's exactly in all moods and all. Every day has another expression of something. and and how can we see open intelligence in our daily life? Yeah. Can share a bit more about the 12 empowerments, maybe specifically here also. Also have some who are going through them, and yeah, they could hear some more shares there maybe.
Yeah, I think that um the letting the practice has been, I've been so busy with work and just life, and then the the thought of like, oh, it's um like like let me make a little, there's like that little like flavor of efforting, and it's like just resting in that, not touching that either. I call it not touching anything, because so I not touching that either, and letting that have me. So that's been undoing itself a little bit, and then feeling a little bit alone in the among friends or people in my proximity. There's just a lot of efforting to have a certain state or have a certain spiritual goal, and so yeah, just people kind of glaze over when I speak because I just don't know. I don't have words to express what I'm really interested in and what's going on inside. So there's a little bit of a solitary path right now. But I feel really content, and it's like taking more space in every aspect of life, of here, and
Yeah, I understand. And I think some others could understand too. There was some nodding there, but understanding that there's something you're experiencing or you're recognizing, and yeah, and you're very much up for no more efforting. that's that's good. I can relate to that, and just letting it be untouched, meaning also, yeah, letting it just be as it is and not like try to even wrangle it into experience or getting effort into it all. Yeah, that's great. And actually, when also being so busy, just having that simple practice along the way is so perfect. Couldn't Nothing could be better than that. Yeah. Also understandable that even going through the 12 empowerments, that is it's an I admit it takes a little effort because there is a doing of going through the text and the answers. So that is definitely there, which it leads into the effortlessness way of being. However, not leads, so it opens it. It but yes, it needs a certain space for that. Yeah, 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 yeah. But doing the short moments along the way is just so perfect. Yeah, and even popping in here is also great. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Great. Let's see if we have some requests. Maybe share, maybe Natalie, did you want to share about the 12 empowerment? How it was for you before and after? Or that's quite a, you've just done them, yeah.
Microphone. Okay. Yeah, I actually there were several things I wanted to say or ask. So
Of course.
can I go? Yeah.
You can, yeah, perfect, perfect.
My first thought was a question of vocabulary, and on the slides you see at some point it's written data disappear or dissolve or something like that.
Mhm.
I understand, of course, intuitively that, but I remember once I was here in a meetup sharing a moment of open intelligence, and I was all excited and said, and there were no data, and Jochen said, but there are always data. So just to be sure about the distinction, I mean, data, I mean, experience, perceptions and sensation and feelings, everything continue to appear. But it's not that we are stopping upon them or we are clinging to them or we are reifying them. That's right. Therefore, you write data disappear, or is it something else?
Well, yes, when you hear the data disappear, but data come and go generally, but also data have a self-release.
Yeah.
They self-release. There's open intelligence, and the focus on emphasizing thoughts and emotions makes them like be something and doesn't allow for that self-release. And I think you have that kind of experience, right, in yourself, seeing that, that doesn't, having data is not proof that we are not seeing open intelligence. That's first of all.
Yeah.
Right? Open intelligence is always there, whether we have the wildest data, most intense data, feelings or not. There's never a moment without open intelligence. The self-release is like they just allow to come and go. And some might feel like they hang out longer, but then, we might also have some stories around that. And even the stories are free in their own place, really.
Yeah.
So what's your experience there? What you
Yeah,
said?
and then there are differences of perceptions or view or perspective, like Mark was describing this absence of movement, this stillness in the perception. This is something I once experienced after a special initiation from a Tibetan teacher. And I think it's something really great. It's even okay, my experience today after the 12 empowerments, which were for me wonderful, because also this reflection and writing work, there is questions to answer, etc., was very beneficial, extraordinarily beneficial. And now I'm more, in my day-to-day life, of course, I practice short moments, I do other things. And this is really I wouldn't say my focus, because too much focus is not good for me, because I'm so much used to effort all my life that it's better that I relax. But it became more kind of habitual or less extraordinary, more normal, more, I don't know, more ordinary.
Yes.
And it's very interesting because there can be attachment, as Darko was saying just before. We have to be aware all the time. And yes, these are in practice instructions that I also received or met all my life. But then if there is an effort, we lose it because there is a grasping, and it's very difficult to find the subtle middle way of wanting enough and no effort.
That's great.
So
I think for me that my motivation keeps increasing, the effort keeps decreasing. That's a bit because I think so much in our society relates deep motivation with lots of effort,
yeah.
right? The more I want something, the harder I have to try. And here I had to I'm
And then
so
you lose
into
it.
this.
You lose it.
Exactly. Yeah, you lose. Fortunately, you don't really lose it, right? You just lose
No.
that in that moment open intelligence loses itself in that appearance of struggle. So we're not really harming anything, we're not undoing anything, and the next short moment gives that moment of openness again. But it's really for me to see that any kind of like a sense of tension, of struggle, of effort, of for me a lot was like analyzing and figuring it out to immediately recognize bring that to a moment of instinctive recognition. And so much of the effort collapsed when I saw that even the thought of, I have so much doubt that I'm doing this right, and I could rest as that thought, it's hilarious. Like your thought says, I can't rest. And you recognize it's at rest. Even this ridiculous thought is at rest. So then everything just collapsed for that moment. There were many other moments then after that when I again thought, oh, I can't rest. I need to figure this out and I need to have some markers of the right experience and the right amount of effort. And I guess that's also part of human life. And it's helpful to just look back sometimes and see, how was my practice 20 years ago? How was it 10 years ago? And how is it today? Not that gives perspective because I see how much effort has dropped away from my life, including my practice. And so, moment by moment, there might still be, and sometimes, it can take that minimal amount of effort, you could say, to when I really want to like get this done or get this solved or like understand this, like that minimal effort to then make that commitment to relax, to rest again. So that's maybe a little bit of effort that's left. But everything else for me, that shift, that nothing is more important in this moment than the immediate direct recognition of open intelligence. Like just knowing that increasingly this truly is, as it says in Empowerment One, the most important choice I will ever make in life is in this moment, whether or not I prioritize open intelligence and all my other commitments of life, including to my practice, to the path, to the benefit of all beings, is only benefited if I relax into that spaciousness of mind and heart in that moment. So that over time harmonized my relationship with the struggle kind of effort. I still put in good effort for things that I really want to get done. Like if I want to go surfing, I need to work on my heart conditioning and everything so that I can paddle out when the waves are bigger. But it's a good effort. I can be completely at ease while I do that.
Yeah.
And it's not that.
But it's not an effort to have a short moment of open intelligence.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. For me, this 12 empowerment have freed so much time. I mean, I have more time as I'm partly retired, but I'm so much less involved in nonsense thinking.
Mm.
This is amazing.
I can relate.
That's a good
Beautiful.
one, yeah.
There's so, I mean, yeah, through out of habit, I have found myself, thinking over some question, but there I had hard topics to sort out in my life, but okay. But my mind was swirling around it out of habit, but otherwise, really, with this short moment, so much time available, so much more time available. This is wonderful.
It's wonderful, yeah.
And I recommend that
Beautiful.
with empowerment. Really, it's genius. It's really brilliant.
Wonderful. And
Magic.
also I wanted to say something about, like sometimes it feels like it suddenly gets so ordinary. And especially after a time of looking for specific experiences, I just look at myself. I've always thought, wow, like I sometimes even forget how it is not to recognize open intelligence because it's so ordinary. And then at the same time, these special experiences that, for example, and I'm not putting down these, they are very powerful experiences that we feel suddenly, well, everything feels like one, or it's moving through us. These kinds of things are really perfectly, they are signs of recognizing open intelligence and deepening this confidence. Yet we also even not hold on to those, because then it does slip away, because it has to. It is another experience. But they are valuable, so there's nothing wrong, and obviously, but also nothing to hold on. We can't have that experience all the time. It never happens, so nobody will have a certain experience at all times. So that's the enjoyment body, really, the bliss. The ultimate enjoyment body is like it's everything. So it's like, yeah. Also the there's suffering, there's no suffering, but there's that kind of feeling everything.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm more in the very ordinary type of.
Yeah, good. Good. That's very good. That's a deepening of open intelligence, right? Oh, it's so ordinary.
Hopefully.
It's so just really ordinary. Yeah. But it was nice to be together, or next week here again this time. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful to be together.
Yeah,
Take
really.
care, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.